May 15th is a big day for our garden. We're taking out our tomato plants and our peppers from the basement, and we're repotting them into bigger pots so that they have more room to grow and thrive before we take them outside on June 1st. Today we're going to repot the peppers and the tomato plants, and we're pinching off parts of the peppers so that they don't flower yet and they spend more energy growing and getting more branches so that they'll have more peppers. We didn't get as many peppers as we would have wanted last year, so we're going to try and get more peppers from them this year. So far we've moved these tomatoes out of their smaller cells, and they were in here with these onions and kale, and we're going to harden these off today so that they can go out into the garden. These are additional onions to the ones we already have outside. We just didn't think we had enough. So we're going to harden these ones off with the kale today.
We're pretty excited about what Bunkie has going on in here. We have started the clippings for our fruit branches, and the grapes we do every year, and they're doing really well. We have to pinch off some of these actual grapes because they need to focus on growing roots, not on growing seeds and fruit. So we need to pinch those off. And then the figs are doing really well. We've got a few of those started. And for the first year, we're doing our pear tree. And they're doing really well. They're starting to get roots too. So we're really excited about that. Some of these won't make it, but we're pretty happy with how they're doing right now. Over here, we have Bunkie's sweet potato slips. And these are doing really well. You can see how many roots they have at the bottom. And these are all the slips that she's pinched off of there already. So we're going to have over 20 potato plants from these potato slips. And that's really exciting. And then there's Mom's chayote plants and some coneflowers growing over there. And down here are all of the signs we made for Bunkie's garden with Miss Lori on our live. And some kind of Filipino bean. I don't actually know what it is. But those are starting in a wet towel. And those should be sprouting soon. And then there's some ash down there for the garden. And Bunkie's chitting potatoes.
We're in zone 6B, but our microclimate is kind of weird. So we take our plants out on June 1st instead of instead of May 23rd. The 23rd is our area's official date, but we got burned once and set back 6 weeks to restart our plants instead of the 1 week if we'd waited. So we make sure that we wait long enough before we take our plants out now. Out here in our garden, we have our carrots in the first bed, and this year we did our carrots a little bit differently. Bunkie decided that it would be a fun idea to try and plant the carrots outside late in the fall. And they actually are doing a lot better than her idea from when she was 5, which was to plant them in a pot. And those did super well. It was a great idea. But this time she decided to just put them in the bed late in the fall, and they're so much bigger than they were with the other way, and they're so much more lush and green, and they're really pretty, and I think they did really well. And we've got some broccoli in between them, I think that's broccoli. Yeah. Over here we have cabbages, and they're under this hoop of netting that we made. And this hoop is actually keeping the cabbage moths away from the cabbages, because as the name implies, cabbage moths eat cabbage, and we had a huge infestation of them last year. So we're gonna try and keep them away a little better. Here we have this is onions, right?
No, garlic.
Oh, this one's garlic. So over here is garlic, and then here's onions?
Yes.
Yeah, these ones are the onions. So these are onions and garlic, and this one doesn't really need the hoop because these plants aren't bothered by the cabbage moths. I guess they don't like spicy. But we might move it over to this third bed because it doesn't have anything in it, and we don't want the cabbage moths laying their eggs in it before we plant anything. And I think it's going to be like kale and something else. We haven't decided yet. Mom and Bunkie got to talk it over. Ooh, look, a robin. Over here is the baby beets. This entire bed is filled with beets. And Mom really likes planting beets with Bunkie because they only take like 60 days to fully grow. And then you can harvest them. And then you can replant and get a second crop. And maybe even a third crop sometimes, I think. Just from beets alone. And then over in the back of the garden, we have my strawberries. And I planted these...
When you were like 11.
Yeah, I think I was 11. And we had them in a different bed when we planted them first.
You can
And then
see
we
the
moved them here, and so
strawberries.
they're starting to flower and get strawberries. And they're doing super well. I'm really happy with them. But over here are Bunkie's new strawberries. We're competing with strawberries now. Who can grow the most strawberries? And these are her little strawberries. She just got them this year, and they were like only planted recently. And they're rookies, but they're doing good.
June berries.
These are June berries. I think I have, I know I have Jewel, Honey Eye. One of them starts with an A, and one of them starts with a C.
And then there's the everbearing.
Yeah, that's the one that starts with an A. But I can't remember what it's called. We have all of our hay bales. They're not hay bales, they're straw bales.
Strawberries.
We have all of our straw bales set up here. We didn't want to use hay because they'll use seeds, but we have all of our straw bales set up here. And on the 18th, which is in 3 days, we're going to start putting nitrogen on them to prep them for June 1st when we put the plants out here, the tomatoes and the peppers.
Yeah.
And there's still a lot of work to be done. Ooh, look, a horde of snakes. There's still a lot of work to be done in this garden. We have a whole bunch of hay bales just outside of the garden that we haven't put into the garden anywhere. There's a whole bunch outside of the garden that we still need to put in so that we can plant on them. In this long row, I think that's going to be the tomatoes. But yeah, it's got a lot done in here. And then outside of the garden, Miss Lori, this is where we put our table grapes. This is what we did with our grapes. I'm just going to climb over the gate. We don't need to open it. But this is what we do with our table grapes. And we just have them going up the trellis. We just trim them down.
Yeah, we got some Neptune
And Venus, I think.
Venus. Neptune and Venus.
I don't know, is there Neptune? I thought it was just
Okay,
Venus.
that's
Oh,
what
Pinot
it
Blanc.
is.
And then these are the peach trees. The
That's
peach
what-
trees are doing absolutely wonderful. The peach trees are doing absolutely. He's peeking out of the. He's
Yep.
knitting.
Peeking
out of the. He wants freedom. Knitting.
There's another
He wants
one.
freedom. The elderberries, they're taking over the world.
Hey, look at
Look,
this.
they are starting. Oh, shadow. They're starting to really take over everywhere. We've got them. They were originally planted there and over there,
You can see
and
there's a
along the
sprout
path.
coming up there.
But you got them coming up here,
Sprout.
there, over there. There's more growing right there.
Oh,
Coming
oh,
into
just
the
careful,
path over
careful,
here, we gotta kind
careful.
of like squeeze between the elderberries. There's one.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's lots of elderberries. This is their 3rd season, and they're doing so well. Oh, wild strawberries.
Yay.
Those things are really sour, but they're pretty
They're
good.
small too.
I think this
That's
one is
lavender.
lavender, and then over here is
Is
our
mint.
mint.
Yes, and then there's my chocolate mint over there.
Here's Bunkie's chocolate mint.
And then I got some Thai basil.
And she's got some Thai basil over there.
Dying.
But yeah, the garden is doing absolutely wonderful right now. It's a beautiful season right now. It's windy a little bit and warm from the sun. So it's beautiful weather outside. We'll probably come out and do something productive, hopefully. We'll see. Oh look, the emus are spying on us.
They're hiding under the grass.
Bunkie thinks he's short enough to hide under the grass and it won't see him. We can see you, man. He knows I'm talking to him.